And Trump is such a typical example of electing so-called successful business person who has got no basics of politics. Because in politics, you also learn diplomacy. You also learn sovereignty and how to relate with other nations. So he has not just verbalized his political illiteracy. He has practicalized it. How do you become acting president of Venezuela? In all respect, it will never happen. And he knows it. There will be a permanent instability in that country because those people are going to fight for their self-determination. They're not going to allow that. Everywhere they went to Afghanistan, they destabilized that country. They went to Libya, they destabilized that country. They went to Iraq, they destabilized that country. Everywhere they say they are intervening, they go and destabilize the country. They are going to start a world war. But I don't think he has politically internalized and discussed it and take a deliberate decision to start a world war. He doesn't even know how a world war get to be started. I think he's unwittingly going to start a world war because he's going to tamper with interest of a lot of nations. And they're not going to sit back. They're going to respond. And the art of war teaches you that you can't open so many battlefronts.
Yes.
You can't be fighting everyone and expect to win. And then become worse. Start fighting even your own inside.
Yes.
You will have instability inside and you will have outside forces also turning against you. You can be this superpower, but those resources are limited. You're going to be fragmented and be fighting in all fronts. And the next thing, the resources get depleted and you get defeated. But that doesn't apply, doesn't think about it. Yes, but South Africa, Bafana must officially withdraw. SAFA must take a decision to withdraw from having anything to do with the World Cup that is taking place in America. When a country starts disrespecting international law, which declared that apartheid is a crime against humanity, and other people still wanted to trade with South Africa, a lot of countries refused to trade with South Africa because it was violating human rights, it was violating international law. So we must boycott the World Cup in America and boycott anything that has got to do with America, because we cannot sit back and allow a person to destabilize the world and it becomes business as usual. That is an act of cowardice. Well, we shouldn't allow that. He's not fighting to bring the Starlink because he wants to he wants to give us access to network and all of that. They're coming to police us. They're coming to create regime change. The white people realize they cannot take it through a ballot, and they are now engaged in illegal, unconstitutional method to destabilize this country so that eventually they can take it over. We've got a lot of strategic minerals that are needed by America and everybody else, including Elon Musk, who is involved in business. And therefore, the government that is saving today, it is not saving in their best interest. They will never cooperate with that government. If anything, they're going to try and collapse that government. We are not opposed to network connectivity. We are the ones who fought for data not to expire, time not to expire. The more we broaden our network, the better, especially for the rural community, which is still voting for the ANC, is not exposed to a lot of information as to how corrupt these people are. But we cannot have a network that is going to be policing us, operated by Mossad, to monitor our activities and to instigate insurrection inside our country. We shouldn't allow that, and we must never be blackmailed not to follow our laws. Our laws are not racist or are not discriminatory. Are simply saying, let's pull those ones who were left behind to come and be at the same level with us. The BEE is not going to be a permanent feature. We're just using it as an intervening method to address the historical imbalances.
Yes.
Once that is achieved, we can have a conversation about, do we really need this law? Because now our people are at a point where they can equally compete
Yes.
with their counterparts without being disadvantaged by the fact that they are not exposed or they do not have the necessary resources to compete, as it were, at that level. So I think it's something that all of us, we must put our political differences aside and say, mask, as long as it's not compliant to the laws of South Africa, he must never be allowed to enter here, and no special law must be made for Elon Musk.